Hey guys, this is Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and this is one of those videos that's not about the gameplay so much. Instead, I'm going to talk about game battles. So I recently posted up a video, there'll be a link on the screen now and then at the end in the description in case you want to see it, where I showcase a competitive game, a game battles game, and have, instead of me talking over it, the commentary. So what's nice about that is you get to see how my team and I communicate, and you get to see what's usually a closer game instead of a game where you find the worst players you can and get like a 10-1 KD against them or even higher. So anyway, it was clear to me based on the comments that a lot of guys didn't know about Game Battles, that they had never heard of it before. So I thought I'd explain what it is. Game Battles is a competitive league for gamers where typically good gamers play against each other, and winning is the only objective. It's not about KD. There are no stats, whatever. The way it works is you go to a private match, you set it up with specific rules, and then with those rules you play. Some of the things that make game battles different than pubs are, for the most part, kill streaks are turned off. So that changes the importance of death a little bit. It makes it less important. On the other hand, respawn is turned on. So even in games like Domination or Demolition, where usually there's no respawn, there is in game battles, and that makes deaths a little more important. The wrong weapon for that far shot. So oftentimes in game battles, there's 2v2s, there's doubles ladders, but the real competitive stuff in game battles is 4v4. So that changes things too. When you have only 4 people, and at any given time, usually a guy or two waiting on his respawn delay, then there's really a whole lot fewer players in the game. Another thing that changes are the weapons and setups you can use. So in MLG Variant, which is the most restrictive rule set, you can't use Warlord or Flak Jacket, so they limit you on that. And in default random maps, which is what we play most of the time, you can use those things. In almost all the game settings, you typically don't use any equipment. So that means no claymores, no motion sensors, no things like that. And the idea in game battles, there's no launchers typically, is that it's more gun on gun. In game battles, it's not so much about, there's no noob tubing, there's a lot of stuff missing. Yikes. But so anyway, it's a competitive league. How good do you have to be in game battles? Not awesome or anything. You know that guy that typically leads the lobby? He would be a normal game battles player. So it's a whole team full of people who would normally lead the lobby if they were placed in random lobbies. So they're what does that make them? Top 10% or so? That's not really all that exclusive, but it's not bad either. So there you have it. That's how good they have to be. So there's no kill streaks. There's some limitations on what you can do in your classes. Another thing that changes it in from a pub is how organized everything is. So typically you don't run silencers, although I won't say never. But typically you don't run a silencer in game battles because the teams work together so well that everyone knows where everybody is. The second you get a bullet on anyone, they're going to call out your position, and teams that work well together are just as effective as a UAV. So using a radar, or using a silencer, I mean to say, is fairly worthless in game battles because everyone's going to tell their teammates where you are as soon as you make yourself known by shooting the trigger. It's a little quieter, so sound whoring in game battles becomes a bigger deal, to the point that in previous Call of Duties, everybody ran Ninja all the time. In this Call of Duty, people are still getting a grip on how effective the sound whoring is, so I know I haven't been running Ninja in game battles for the first time ever, and we'll see if that turns out to be a good tactic or not. I'm not quite sure, but historically in game battles, sound whoring is a really big part of it, and I'm not sure if that's true for Black Ops yet or not. We'll find out, I guess. In game battles, the only thing that matters is winning, right? Nobody cares what your KD is, and oftentimes the teams are so organized that everybody has a role. So if some guy has a distant weapon, you'll know that he's posted up in this spot with his G11 and he's going to protect this flag. Somebody else might have a close quarters combat weapon and he's going to control, like in my last game, for example, I had this AK-74U, the same class I'm using now, and my job was mostly to own Roundhouse, which I did fairly well. I wasn't perfect, but whatever. And then there were other guys with the G11 who would sit there and own that tower behind Alpha, and that's a long distance weapons job. So when you play Cap the Flag, some guys will have runner classes, some guys will have defense classes, and some guys will just be slayers in the middle, whose goal is to make sure that they're in their respawn delay all the time, and that guy helps a lot too. So anyway, the teams are more organized in game battles, and that has effect not only on the UAV but also on the weapons that you run and the positions that you play. So I'm trying to get my backstabbers in this game, and that's why I chase them around like that. I'm trying to get my pro perks. Another thing, people often ask how to get involved in game battles, and there's 3 ways that I know of. The first is on the Game Battles website, gamebattles.com. You can register there as a free agent, and then in theory, teams can pick you up. They look at the free agents and do what they can. But in reality, like, I don't know anyone that's ever been picked up as a free agent. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to know someone and leave it in the comments. But by and large, free agents, especially free agents who don't already have a Game Battles rank, don't get picked up. Another way to do it is to go to the Game Battles forums. And in the Game Battles forums, sometimes people will say, hey, we're going to run a scrim, let's do this, and it won't. Sometimes it'll be team v team, but other times it'll be more like a pickup game of basketball, where they want to make sure that nobody's on teams, that people don't work together. Instead, it's just more like not free for all, because that means something in Call of Duty, but teams of people who don't know each other just playing in scrims, but not subject to the pub map craziness. Like in Modern Warfare 2, noob tubes and such ruined it, so people would just go and have scrims and stuff by Game Battles rules. Game Battles rules a lot more gun on gun than it is in pub matches. Anyway, that's 2 ways to get set up: the Game Battles forums and the Game Battles free agent system. But I actually honestly believe that the best way to get started with the Game Battles team is on huppetgaming.com. So in terms of full disclosure, Huppet is a website I have. I'm a partner with it, with Saspin Jr., and what Huppet stands for is helping unite players into teams. It's not just for Game Battles, it's also for pub teams, for guys that want to get together and just crush people who are disorganized. But on Huppet you can go and organize a team. When you set up your profile on Huppet, you say, I'm interested in guys who want to go pub stomping. I'm interested in guys who like sniper lobbies. I'm interested in guys who are just casual, fun, hanging out together. And then there's, I'm interested in guys who are Game Battles players, who want to set up a competitive team. And that's probably your best bet, especially if you don't already have a huge Game Battles rank, where you can just get together and meet people and do your thing. So that's how you get involved in Game Battles, and that's how good you have to be. You have to be sort of one of those guys who leads the lobbies a whole lot. Finally, I think I got my backstab there. Yep. When you get into actually playing the games, some guys are trying to face the absolute best teams that they can find out there, and some guys are trying to face the worst teams that are out there, and then there's guys like us somewhere in the middle. So right now, I think the only 2 game modes, because Black Ops is so new, are default random maps and MLG variant. But going forward, you'll be able to play specific game modes. Like, I'm only interested in Cap the Flag, I'm only interested in TDM, whatever. Historically, the weakest teams play TDM and Search and Destroy. Those are the teams where you'll find the easiest competition. So if you want to pump up your Game Battles rank and face noobs, comparative noobs, then that's where you would hang out. If you're interested in the strongest teams, then they play 4v4 MLG variant. And if you want to stumble across some celebrities, find Team Envious, see how you hang against Hastro, then you'll find guys like that roaming MLG variant 4v4. So and then there's us somewhere in the middle. One thing, sometimes people say that we suck, and I thought I'd talk about that for a little bit. First of all, we are not awesome. We are not elite. There are teams out there like Team Envious. We played them when we were just getting started, and it was lopsided, right? They really had their way with us. It felt like we couldn't get anything done that we were trying to do. They locked down the map so well. Our Game Battles record last season was 6-1, and our Game Battles this season is 3-0. I also have a doubles team I'm running with Team Art, and we are 1-0. So I guess in my last 11 games, 10-0 or 10-1. I'm trying to say. So are we awesome? No. We're the Unacceptable Brethren. That's the team name, and there are other teams are out there who probably win easily against us. But do we suck? Look, we're 11-1 in our last 10 games. I think suck is too strong a word. Suck's not what you're looking for. We're not crazy awesome, but we don't suck either. So that's what Game Battles is. There's no kill streaks. Friendly fire is on. The weapons that you can use are limited. There's no noob tubes. It's just gun on gun and tactical people working together, and they're typically better players than you find in pub matches, and it's all about the win. No one cares if you go negative. No one cares what happened in that game. There are no moral victories. No jackass is going to go 50-4 with a loss and act like he wrecked you, like somebody might in a pub match. It's it's all about winning games, and I have a good time. So usually these call-out videos are fairly popular. I'll have some more coming your way, and I hope that this video helped you understand them at least a little bit more. So have a good day.